Okay, I have an amazing new effect to share with you today, and it involves a camera that can actually take photos of the future. Whoa! Okay, so you'll see that in action here in just a moment. Okay, so we need 12 random cards for this. Spectators free to choose those cards. Okay, as soon as I can get them straightened up there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very good. We can mix these as much as the spectator would like. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to set out piles of cards. More specifically, 4 piles of 3 cards each. Okay, so 4 piles of 3, and we can go ahead and just show them here. Okay, so here we go. So there's the first one. And these are truly random. You need to know that. Okay, so when you go to do this, you can be confident that these are just randomly chosen. Okay, there's no setup to this effect, even though it's looking pretty suspicious here. You got 3 red, 3 black, but that kind of thing happens by chance alone. Okay, very good. So we have 4 piles of 3 cards each. Okay, so this is where the magical photo comes in. So you can use either the camera on your phone to take the picture, or if you have an iPad, that would be fine. For me here, it will be best for me to actually take a screenshot of what you're seeing here, because you'll be able to follow what I'm doing later in the presentation for the finale. Okay, but normally you just bring out your phone and take a photo. But since I said I'd take a screenshot, let me go ahead and do that. So I'll take a screenshot. Okay, so what I need you to do as a spectator, in this first column here, I need you to make note of, in fact, it might be nice to have a place to write this down, or if you have 4 spectators, that would be ideal. But have a card randomly remembered from the first pile. And if needs be, have the spectator write that down. In pile 1, they're remembering the King of Clubs, let's say. Okay, so to help us out here, so just have like pile 1, maybe they're going to remember the King of Clubs, and then have them randomly choose any card, any of the 3 cards in pile 2. Maybe they'll want the 10 of Hearts. Now, they don't tell you this, right? You either have multiple spectators or they write these down. Maybe they want the 4 of Clubs, and then pile 4, the last pile, perhaps they'll go with the Queen of Hearts on a popular card. Okay, so we'll refer to this a little bit later to remind you what the spectators' freely chosen cards were. Okay, and then what you need to do as the performer, you just collect each of these, kind of mix them up in one pile. You know, mix those up, just so the spectator feels good that the cards are well mixed within each pile. And then we can actually randomly stack these according to the spectator's request. You can stack those in whatever order they would like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to deal out the cards into kind of a triangle pattern like this. Try to keep it in camera. Once again, the spectator can tell you how to stack these. Top left, bottom center on top of that, and then the top right. Okay, so that's a free choice by the spectator, so remember that. Now from here, we can perform what's called a Chardelier shuffle. And I can add a link in the description below to the Chardelier shuffle, a very powerful shuffle. So it's one worth learning. And now for the card magic aficionados out there, I'm going to now do something that you've never seen before within a routine of this sort. And I promise you that's true. I'm going to deal the cards into 2 piles. This is like a big no-no for this effect. With random stacking, so maybe the spectator wants left on right, that's a free choice. We'll follow that up with another highly destructive shuffle. It's called the Klondike Shuffle. I'm taking the top and bottom cards off as 1, Klondike Shuffle. Okay? And then from here, we could have the spectator give it a random final cut anywhere that they would like. Okay, so maybe right there, that's fine. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push off 3 sets of 4 cards each, if I can count. There we go. Okay, there we go. 3 sets of 4 cards each. And then I'm just going to display them like this, just like that. And then this one over here, like that, just so we can see them all. And then this one over here, like this, okay? And because of the camera view in a second, because I'm going to be bringing up the photo I took, I'm going to move these over just so everything will fit in just a moment, okay? So this is what we're looking at here. And from this point, all you need the spectator to do is you just ask them which pile contains their first selection. Okay. Now, if you remember, the first selection, see, it was from pile 1. Remember, we had 4 piles initially. First selection was the king of clubs. So the spectator's looking at their card here, and all they tell you is their card is somewhere in here. It's one of these 4 cards. Okay, so what you do is you bring out your magical photo of the future, and that photo will actually reveal to you the exact identity of the spectator's first choice. Okay, so let me bring that up. Okay, so on the left I have the photo of the original configuration of the cards from which the spectator made 4 selections. Far left, pile 1, next one, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. So here we're asking the spectator to identify which pile contains their first selection. And as mentioned already, it's the king of clubs. So what they're going to say is they're going to say their selection is somewhere in here. Okay. Now just look at the photo that you took. Can you see how you can deduce which of these 4 cards the spectator's card must be? Okay, just give you a second to think about it. So go ahead and focus on, this was pile 1 from which the card was chosen, right? Do you find anything in the current configuration over here on the right that corresponds to the cards on the left here? So 3 of clubs, king of clubs, which the spectator knows is theirs, and then the 6 of diamonds. Well, if you look over here, here is the king of clubs, the 6 of diamonds, which is the same, and the 3 of clubs. Now they're in a different order, but it doesn't matter. So what will always be true is the spectator's selection from pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, or pile 4 will correspond to one of the rows, row 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, so as soon as the spectator tells you that their selection, the king of clubs, is found here, what you're looking for is the row that has these cards in it. And the row that has those cards in it is the 3rd row from the top, right here. Okay, and so essentially what it is you know that their first selection has to be the king of clubs, the 6 of diamonds, or the 3 of clubs. So the moment they tell you the column it's in, that uniquely identifies one position. Okay, and so you would be able to just look at your photo here on the left and pretend that it's communicating to you that the spectator's first selection must have been a king of clubs. Okay, so let's try that with pile 2 as well. Okay, so the spectator is going to be asked, okay, which of these piles contains your second selection? And their second selection was the 10 of hearts. Okay, so they're going to indicate that their second selection is found somewhere here. Well, what are you doing as the performer? You're looking over here at your photo. Let me slide this over so you can see it. That will be important to see that guy. So what you're doing as the performer, you're focused on the Jack of diamonds, 5 of diamonds, and the 10 of hearts. And you're going to look over here for a row of cards that consists of exactly those cards. And it would be the top row right here. right? There's the 5 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, Jack of diamonds, okay? So by looking at your second pile here, the cards in that second pile, you can identify the precise row on which those cards lie. And so you know for sure that the spectator's card must be one of these 3 top cards, but you don't know which it is. But once they identify that middle pile as containing their second selection, you know for sure that it's the 10 of hearts, which it is. Okay, why don't we just do the third one and call it good? I think you can do the fourth one. Okay, so the spectator once again is asked to identify which pile contains their third selection. Well, where is it? Oh, it's over here. There it is right there. It's the 4 of clubs. So they're going to indicate that the first pile contains their third selection. And once again, what are you looking for? Well, you're looking for which row over here in the final display of the cards corresponds to the third pile at the very beginning. And the 3 cards involved are the 4 of clubs, the 3 of spades, and the 9 of clubs. Well, once you know that this contains their third selection, then you know their third selection must lie here on the second row somewhere, but you still need to know in which column it is. So it's like you know the row, second row, but once they tell you, quote, the column or the pile, vertically here, then you know that it has to be the 4 of clubs. So see if you can, on your own, deduce that the spectator, when they say that their fourth selection is found in this pile here, how can you use your photo and the cards in the photo to deduce that it has to be the Queen of Hearts? Okay, well, this is a really fun effect because you really can use this motif of photos have become so sophisticated. We have generative AI that's able to restore low resolution photos, remove objects from the photo, insert objects in the photo, change the background, do all these magical things. Well, now they're actually to the point of being able to see the future. And so our photo was taken before the spectator made their 4 choices, yet our photo was able to communicate to us what their choices would be. Whoa, that is amazing. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will add a couple of links in the description below. One to the Charlier Shuffle, the Powerful Shuffle, and also another one that deals with reading 5 minds at once. So it explains the underlying mathematics to this performance here, as well as performances involving larger number of cards. In particular, the one that I show you involves 16 cards, and then one actually involves 25 cards. Okay, so I appreciate you watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.